Thank you, Oren, Yasmin, Benjamin, all the organizers. Fox Labs is the innovation arm of Fox Group. As some of you may know, Fox Group is Israel's leading retailer. We have over 20 brands in our group. Some are fully owned, some are partially owned, some are franchised. We operate 800 stores in 20 countries, 3 continents. We have Israel's leading fashion e-commerce platform and Israel's leading loyalty membership club. And so we believe at Fox Labs that if we pair these capabilities that we have from being such a substantial group in Israel retail and the capabilities of the leadership of Israel as a startup nation, the potential to have a real impact on the future of retail is significant. Fox Labs has 2 major goals. The first is to implement new technologies across the Fox Group. So this can be any one of our verticals, across the group, throughout the supply chain. The mandate is very broad. We're looking for any technology that can have a significant, bring significant added value to the group. The second goal is to build a portfolio of investments in the best startups and technologies that we work with. Our sweet spot, and this touches a little bit on what Oren said before about the landscape, our sweet spot is that early stage, where companies are looking for a beta site. With what we have to offer startups, and I'll get to that in a moment, we are a really prime site for beta site. But even earlier on, where companies are still struggling to get to their MVP or focused on getting to their MVP, we're happy to be design partners. Once we set out on a pilot, we first agree upon KPIs, timeline, milestone, everything that we need in order to be able to assess at the end of the pilot, the success of that pilot. And based on that success, at that point, the sky is the limit. We start the pilot in 1 or 2 small sections of the group, but the idea is to find technologies that we can scale up across the group, and the potential is tremendous. We are also happy to connect the startups with our global network of contacts in the retail industry. And as I mentioned before, at this point, after a successful pilot, an investment is an option as well. On the team with me at Fox Labs are Mikey Ben-Ari and Einav Margalit. Mikey, as VP Business Development and Innovation at Fox Group, has spearheaded and rolled out multiple initiatives and technologies across the group, and he's also led the acquisitions and the partnerships of Fox Group around the world. Einav Margalit has been with Fox Group for a long time, has worked with many of the brands, and knows the retail industry inside and out. With my background as a venture capital executive and working on innovation organization, really working with startups for the past 20 years, our complementary skills are something that can greatly benefit the startups that we work with. But we're not alone around the table. Fox Group has been around for decades, and the executive team, the leadership, the managers of the group have a tremendous amount of experience and knowledge and contacts that are at the disposal of the companies and the startups that we work with. As a former venture capital executive, I allow myself to say this is value creation. Fox Group is active. We're tremendous. So we work all throughout the retail supply chain. So any point on this supply chain that your company is relevant for, we can help you. And as I mentioned before, the network at our fingertips is absolutely invaluable. So to summarize, what's happening here? How do we work? We look for startups, as I mentioned before, that can bring significant value to Fox Group. We do this on a very opportunistic inbound way, but also targeted strategic outbound search. Once we find technologies that could be relevant, we do an internal opportunity mapping. We define the right place for the organization, and we set out on a pilot as short and as brief and as intense as possible. And at the end of that pilot, scale up, global expansion, or investment. But what do we want out of this? What are we looking for? The truth is, we want to be wowed. We want to be wowed by the technologies that we work with. We want to be wowed by the team, the vision, and the market opportunity. There's a list of sectors here, and honestly, you can cut the retail tech industry in many different ways into sectors. The truth is that we're looking, like I said already a couple of times, for startups that can add significant value to Fox Group. So if your startup or someone that you know has a startup with technology that can do just that, we're happy to hear from you and see how we can work together. These are a few examples of companies in our pilot portfolio that have been through, that are at different stages of the life cycle of the work of Fox Labs within Fox Group. So Connect Team has been around for a while. They started with a pilot with one brand, and today they're working across the group with multiple brands. Baby Ark is an investment that we announced a few months ago. We've already invested in the company. They are setting a new standard for safety and design in car seats. Beyond XR is a company that we just completed the pilot with, and we are deepening our partnership in multiple ways. The pilot with Wolt is ongoing, and if you live in the Tel Aviv area and you haven't checked it out yet, look for Fox Home, Shilav, Lalin on Wolt. It's pretty cool. But I think that in December, giving a presentation about innovation can't be limited to just what we're doing now and past activities. So I thought I'd share with you some of the themes that we're looking at for 2022. They're broad industry themes, but they're the ones that we find are relevant to what we're expecting to see at Fox Labs in 2022. So technology has been playing an accelerated role in the fashion industry for the past 2, 3, maybe a little bit more years, but it was mainly focused on the customer-facing side of the industry. COVID has accelerated the impact of technology on end-to-end initiatives across the organization. And really, in keeping the entire value chain going, we see this in a significant way in the deal flow that we're receiving. Secondly, everyone's talking about self-checkout, mobile checkout, frictionless checkout. The industry will get there very soon. And at Fox Labs, we're looking into many of the options out there. But we're also looking beyond that point, working towards the store experience the day after self-checkout. How the role of in-store agents is evolving, what inventory looks like, store layout, merchandising, all with the goal of reducing friction for the consumer while increasing their engagement with us. The omnichannel approach, of course, plays a big role in this, and our Dream Card Loyalty Club has huge potential as a playground for us to try new things. Thirdly, the demand-centric approach. With consumers' increased appetite for personalization and customization in manufacturing and design on the one hand, and global supply chain issues making forecasting and inventory management more critical than ever on the other, we're looking to leverage machine learning and AI in this area, and of course we hope it'll be compounded by that strong customer engagement that I mentioned. The quality of online shopping continues to improve, but let's face it, as a virtual shopping experience, it's nowhere near where it should be. And we're all seeing the effect of this on inventory and last mile logistics, just to name a few. Predictive sizing, virtual reality. Our partnership with Beyond XR, which I mentioned before, is only an initial dip into this space. And this correlation, of course, also has an impact on the environment. And this is a great segue into the last theme of sustainability, which has reached the world of fashion with some really creative solutions, and we're excited to see how this area continues to evolve. So in short, I'm excited for what 2022 has in store. I think it'll be a big year for Fox Labs. So if you want to be on the journey with us, please reach out. Thank you.